Around 1928, the college began building the Baker Library facility with the attached buildings. Now, up until that point, you had Webster Hall, which is now Ronner, and at the other end of that block on the green, you had a white church. And the college decided that they would build Sanborn over the white church property. So the white church had to move. And the white church began looking for properties, and the Alpha Chi Rho chapter agreed to sell their house to build the white church on. So the Hanover Congregational Church, the white church, which is on campus, stands over the remains of Alpha Chi Rho. And according to Ed Tuck, who was a class of 50, who was a very important brother to me, and one of the sweetest men on the planet, as well as one of the great funny guys, told me that when they were doing some sewer work at the white church, where he was a custodian, they dug a trench and went through the foundation of the old Alpha Chi Rho house. So the foundation is buried roughly off of the southwest corner of that church. And the Alpha Chi Rhos became houseless at that point, and for several years ran in the dormitories. In the 1920s, the Alpha Chi Rhos, the Phi Nu chapter, had quite an engaging existence. I should talk about that in a moment, but that was the third of the fraternities that founded, and that was 1915. You then have the First World War happen, and a lot of the people involved with the house and the founding of the house got tied up in the war. And when the war ended, some of the brothers, like Lime Arms and Warren Monsey, who is now a college lecturer and instructor and on his way to becoming a professor of Romance languages, decided that they would reconstitute Gamma Delta Chi. Gamma Delta Chi is Gamma Delta Epsilon. They needed a property, and they needed brothers. So they did a campus recruiting program. They picked up some brothers, and in 1922, they reconstituted Gamma Delta Epsilon. They needed a property, and at this point, the 30 North Main Street property enters the picture, because Charles Emerson, who was a professor at the college, died in 1922, and he left his house to, because it was on college property, he left it open. And there were two lots on that property. There was the front lot, which was the corner of Webster and North Main Street. And then there was the 30 North Main property, which was behind it, which was where the house actually was. The walkway leading to the front of Gamma Delta Chi actually passes the house. As you walk towards the house, it's on the left. And it was a square foundation, and then there was an extension off of it, which was common for old New England houses. In this case, the house had 2 rooms downstairs that were good sized, and then there were 4 bedroom sized at the top with a central stairwell. And then the extension had a kitchen in it and a large meeting room area, which was where we put the billiards table when we bought it. The college agreed, strangely enough, without any covenants, to sell the property. Now, it should be noted that the college originally owned the plot of land where Hanover is, because Hanover was to the east, about 1.5 miles, over towards Etna. It's now called Hanover Center. You can drive through it in a few minutes and not be aware that that was the original town. But the college made a deal with the town for the town to move west and take everything south of Wheelock Street. And so the college agreed to that, but they built into all the property deeds restrictive covenants requiring a first right of refusal if the property was ever sold. And this is how the college early on was able to acquire some of the property in town back. But the college sold the property free and clear to the Gamma Delta Epsilons in 1922. The front yard, which was the corner, was sold and became TriCap. So the rumor that TriCap was carved out of us is not quite true. They both came out of the same property. But anyway, the The Gamma Delta Epsilons move into their house. The Phi Nus are across the way where the White Church are. The Lambda Chi Alphas are down the street. And the Alpha Sigma Phis are in a structure now where Shabazz is, across the street from us, next to the Chotes.